Same alpha, same role, same tier. They do not win the fights the same way. One wins by refusing to give ground. The other wins by taking it before you're ready. And if you try to play them the same way, you'll bleed HP for no reason. You'll lose tempo, and you will throw the flank before mid-game even starts. Because one of these tanks controls space, and the other controls momentum. This is the Heavy Tank Showdown, Super Conqueror versus 110E5. What's up everybody, Ripper Smash here. Let's start with the Super Conqueror. The Super Conqueror is not a jack of all trades. It is a line holder. It doesn't win by exploding flanks. It wins by refusing to lose them. If you put this tank on a ridge and play it correctly, the enemy either commits multiple tanks or they don't push at all. That's its identity. Area denial through consistency. How the Super Conqueror wins. Aggressive DPM control. Most players think this tank is defensive. It isn't. It puts pressure on through its reload advantage. You don't wait. You trap. You farm. You fire twice for every heavy tank that thinks it can trade effectively with you. If you're not using your reload to control tempo, you are underplaying this tank. Terrain ownership. The negative 10 degree gun depression is not a stat. It's territory control. If there's a ridge on the map, that ridge belongs to you. Flat ground, you are mortal. Ridges, you're a nightmare. The Super Conqueror doesn't use terrain. It abuses it to its advantage. Premium Hesh discipline. The Hesh rounds are not for spamming. They are for execution. Light tanks, paper mediums, side armor. If you're not switching ammo intelligently, you're leaving damage on the table. And this tank wins through accumulation. Why the Super Conqueror is dangerous. Gun handling. The elite gun handling removes RNG from the equation. DPM. It fires twice in the time it takes for most heavies to fire once. Superb armor. The spaced armor eats heat rounds and punishes premium spam. Turret profile. The turret is nearly impenetrable when hauled down. Repeatable. It wins long fights through pure consistency. The longer the engagement goes, the stronger this tank becomes. Where the Super Conqueror failed. Massive lower plate. This is an auto pen if exposed. Low rotation. The slow top speed locks you into an early map decision. Turret weak spot. The cupola becomes targetable on flat ground. Artillery target. The large profile attracts artillery and HE spam. If you lose the ridge, you lose the advantage. Ammo selection. Standard APCR is your default as it is fast and reliable. Premium heat is for armor you cannot pen with regular rounds. And Hesh is for exacting punishment on lesser armored vehicles. The Super Conqueror wins through accumulation, and smart ammo selection accelerates that accumulation. The T110E5 is not a ridge tank. It is a tempo tank. It doesn't win by sitting still. It wins by making you react. If you let this tank dictate the pace of the engagement, it forces mistakes before you even realize you're under pressure. That's its identity. Momentum through aggression. How the E5 wins. Tempo control through mobility. The E5 is faster than most tier 10 heavy. It gets into positions early, and it can leave them just as quick. It can flex mid-game and apply pressure when the fight is collapsing. This tank wins by being in the right place before the enemy expects it. Aggressive peak trading. The E5 thrives in quick exposure fights. You peek, you snap, you pull back. The armor works best when you're not sitting still. If you vary your timing and angles, the enemy struggles to farm your cupola. Sustained DPM pressure. The reload is strong, the gun hits hard enough, and the accuracy is reliable. But unlike the Super Conqueror, the E5 uses its DPM to maintain momentum, not hold ground. It punishes advantages and weakens flanks without hesitation. Why the E5 is dangerous. It is faster than most heavies, meaning it can reposition and flex quickly. It has a strong turret when moving unpredictably. It has reliable 400 alpha with a solid DPM. It is excellent at cleaning up mid and late game fights, and it forces mistakes through pressure. The E5 becomes more dangerous the faster the game moves. Where the E5 fails. It has a large, well-known cupola weak spot. It is less effective in prolonged hull-down ridge fights. The armor is unreliable if sitting still. It can get out-traded by pure DPM monsters, and it requires mechanical discipline to avoid getting farmed. If you slow down this tank, you remove its biggest advantage. Gun and handling, the real separator. The E5's gun feels sharp in aggressive trades. It snaps well, it stabilizes quickly, and it rewards confident peaks. It is not a hold the ridge and farm gun. It is a take space and punish gun. And that's the difference. The Super Conqueror controls territory. The E5 controls tempo. Now let's put them in the same fight and see who actually comes out ahead. The overcommit. Early peak, one mistake, who punishes harder? This is the first 90 seconds. Both tanks crest the ridge, and both test the angles. One player overstays by half a second. The Super Conqueror punishes through reload control. If you mistime your peak, it tracks you and farms 2 more shots. The E5 punishes through snap tempo. It can take a fast shot and pull back before the DPM cycle begins. But in a pure overexposure moment, the tank that reloads faster and stabilizes cleaner wins the mistake. Advantage, Super Conqueror. It capitalizes harder on early impatience. The ground. Hold down ridge. Equal skill, no distractions. This is their natural battlefield. Both are hulled down, both no weak spots, both are disciplined. The Super Conqueror has a stronger turret profile, better spaced armor versus heat, and more forgiving gun handling. The E5 has a cupola that can be targeted if exposed too predictably. In a controlled ridge duel where neither tank can flank, the Super Conqueror bleeds less over time. Advantage, Super Conqueror. It owns the terrain longer. The push. Flank collapsing, one tank must take space. This is where things flip. The Super Conqueror pushes slowly. It grinds forward. The E5 surges. It has better mobility, it rotates cleaner, it can swing wide and collapse angles faster. If a flank needs to be broken open quickly, the E5 can get there first and apply pressure sooner. Advantage, the T110E5. It converts advantages faster. The endgame. Low HP, fewer tanks, precision matters. Now reload timing and positioning matter more than armor thickness. The Super Conqueror is consistent, but it is not fast. The E5 in endgame scenarios repositions faster, chases down isolated targets, and forces 1 versus 1 on its own terms. When space opens up and vision widens, mobility becomes a weapon. Advantage, T110E5. It carries cleaner in fluid late game fights. The Super Conqueror is discipline under pressure. The T110E5 is tempo under pressure. Super Conqueror. Discipline's healing. The Super Conqueror rewards control. It is easy to perform in. It is difficult to maximize. What the Super Conqueror actually requires. Exposure discipline. Show too much hull and you lose HP instantly. Reload tracking. Your DPM means nothing if you don't know the enemy's reload windows. Terrain mastery. Ridge control is everything. Flat ground is death. Patience under pressure. Pushing early ruins your advantage. The Super Conqueror demands structure. If you play it emotionally, you bleed. How the Super Conqueror punishes you. Overcrest the ridge, lower plate penned. Sit on flat ground, the cupola is farmed. Push without support, you're trapped and dead. Choose the wrong flank early, enjoy being a spectator. The Super Conqueror doesn't punish aggression, it punishes impatience. The T110E5, Tempo Ceiling. The E5 rewards decision speed. It feels flexible, it is unforgiving. What the E5 actually requires. Micro positioning. Your cupola exposure must be managed constantly. Timing aggression. Push too late and the fight passes you. Flex awareness. You must know when to rotate mid-game. Mechanical discipline. Snapshots must land. Trades must be clean. The E5 demands initiative. If you hesitate, you waste its greatest strength. How the E5 punishes you. Sit still, cupola sniped. Peek predictably, tracked and farmed. Slow push, out traded by DPM tanks. Wrong rotation, you arrive too late to matter. The E5 doesn't punish fear, it punishes hesitation. The Super Conqueror punishes impatience. The T110E5 punishes indecision. Two different ceilings, two different failure modes. Which tank gives you more ways to win? If the game is static and terrain based, the Super Conqueror has the advantage. Dynamic and momentum driven, the T110E5 has the advantage. Overall, edge to the T110E5, because mobility creates options, and options create win conditions. The Super Conqueror dominates when the fight stays in front of it. The T110E5 can change where the fight happens, and in random battles, control over momentum often matters more than control over the ground. Play the Super Conqueror if you value control. Play this tank if you enjoy locking down ridge lines, managing reload cycles, and grinding opponents down through consistency. The Super Conqueror is for players who want to dictate space, not chase it. It rewards players who think 2 shots ahead. Play the 110E5 if you value momentum. Play this tank if you enjoy flexing flanks, accelerating advantages, and forcing enemies to react to you. The T110E5 is for players who want to shape the fight, not wait for it. It rewards players who make decisions quickly and live with them. Choose the one that fits how you want to win. Control wins ground. Momentum wins games. Which are you? Drop your pick in the comments. If you disagree with the verdict, tell me why. If this showdown sharpened your decision making, hit the like button. And if you want more Heavy Tank Showdowns where we break down how tanks actually win, subscribe. I'll see you in the next one.